expected. It's reasonable, you know. The previous generation usually comes short in their understanding of the successive generation. Their music is a little different. Their politics, their beliefs are a little bit different. So there's some of it's a little foreign to them. So they're not they're apprehensive about it. They're concerned about it. So they kind of make ruckus, especially if they're a little bit more conservative, or even too liberal. Both both extremes seem to put on a pretty good show when it comes to how they express their feelings, especially at these conventions and these rallies. They get pretty animated. But technology is with us. It has been for several years, but it's getting better and better, more refined, more advanced, and it's something we just have to adapt to. You know, we're on the verge of probably being more futuristic in our lifestyles. Star Trek, Star Wars, all that stuff. Pretty soon, hopefully, we'll have spacecraft, we'll have spaceships. I'm sure they already have them. It's incognito, it's secret projects. But it's going to be common knowledge soon. It's going to be obvious and blatant for everyone to see. Space travel, space age technology, maybe even teleporting, and just like they did in Star Trek, where we can enter some kind of a portal and end up in some other parts of the earth, you know? Just get on this little transport gizmo and end up in Africa or Siberia. It's all going to be super high tech. It's all going to be run by computers and all that. AI, they talk about AI being one of the mainframe algorithms that is going to supposedly solve all the world's problems. I hope it does. That'd be great. But there's always going to be those super duper fundamentalist, ultra conservative groups that are going to think, oh, you guys are just trying to play God and run people's lives, and I'm not that extreme about it. I mean, I'm a little bit on the conservative side, but I'm a little bit liberal too. So on certain things, I don't really. I used to be kind of allow myself to get upset and irritated about certain things, but usually because those concepts were pushed on me from a very young age. You kind of live the way what you know. If you're taught Islamic principles, that's your world. That's gonna be your worldview. That's gonna be how you look at things. If you're taught Christian principles, that's how you're gonna see the world. If you're taught liberal principles, that's how you're gonna see the world. Everyone has a different worldview based on what they're taught, based on what they learn. I mean, that's a given, that's obvious, but that's why I kind of lean towards not necessarily universalism, but just I like to have a broader perspective. I like to see it from different perspectives, different angles. Because if you're too extreme in one little thing, I mean, who's to say you're 100% right? You may be right to a certain point, but you don't need to get all frizzled out over an issue. Some of these people get so whacked and so weird and so belligerent and irate over issues that really ultimately don't matter. I mean, they matter, but not to the point where people are resorting to violence or belittling, and it's really not necessary, in my opinion. They have to have these platforms where I guess that's the only way they can exalt themselves. is they have to put others down or other people's ideas down and promote their own ideas. And then they get a following, and then pretty soon they get voted into office. That's just how it is. You always have someone who has to step over everybody else to get to the top. You know, and it's not necessarily right, but that's how things are. If you want to stand out, you got to be unusual. You got to be weird. You got to be abrupt. You know, be a little different. But it's all been done before. There's nothing new under the sun, says Solomon. There's been so many wide ranges of personalities throughout history that how are you going to act that's going to be different than someone else in history? What are you going to say that's going to be different from someone else that said it in times past? There's nothing new. You can't. What is there that's going to be new that you can say, do, think, or feel? People have had the same feelings for millennia. People have thought the same thoughts for thousands of years. People have said the same words in different languages for tens and thousands of years. So there really isn't anything new under the sun. Read Ecclesiastes, Solomon. Supposedly he was a pretty wise individual, according to the Ethiopians.